Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
Good evening. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case. And we have a lot of people on the line tonight because we are honoring the great late Nancy B. Jefferson. She was known as the Mother Teresa of the West Side. And believe me, she did so much good for so many people. And she was instrumental in connecting the Rainbow Push Coalition with the West Side of Chicago. Single-handedly, I covered her for many, many years when I was at the Chicago Defender. And I remember one time when she poured some oatmeal, a box of oatmeal, into the Chicago River. We have on the line Dr. Alice Teague. She is the director, the writer, and the producer of the play called The Shadow of Greatness. And it is a play that she wrote to honor her mom. And we also have on the line Linda Pinson, a daughter, Marie Peavy, a daughter, a son, Paul Jefferson, another son, Ervin Jefferson, and another son, Novell Jefferson. And then we have Jackie Wilkins, who is like a special daughter. Welcome to On the Case. Dr. Teague. Can you hear me, Dr. Teague?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so tell me about your play and why did you decide to write a play about your mom?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you for that question. First of all, I want to thank you for having my whole family on, well, part of the whole family on, just to enlighten the world what it means to have somebody that's a legend and the family. The reason why I wrote this play, well, let me just back up. When I first wrote this play, I got all my brothers and sisters together, and I needed to get their permission. And I wanted to write something that will honor the legacy of what Mama Jefferson did for the community, what she did for people. And when you are a Mother Teresa for 25 years, that said something. So this play, actually, she is the headline of this play. Not only her, but my Uncle Wayne, who was killed in the 60s during the Jim Crow era. And I wanted to bring enlightenment. I wanted to bring education, because so many times our history is being wiped away. And we can never forget our history. We have to remember our history, our culture, and our legacy. Without our culture, we cannot have history. Without history, we cannot have legacy. And so this play came about because of not only Mom Jefferson from the west side of Chicago, but it came about with other people that should have been in the history book. This play, it tells about Claudia Colvin, who was originally refused her seat before everybody knows who she is. I ain't gonna say it, but I don't want to tell too much of the play. But we talked about we talked about Claudia Colvin, who was 9 months before Rosa Parks, but she never got the recognition because at that time she was 15 years old, she was unwed, and she wasn't married. And so NAACP did not want to recognize her. They recognized Rosa Parks. So we have her in the story. We have Betty Boo in the story. We have Sam Cooke. So there's a lot of people that's in this story. However, my mom, Jefferson, she is the face of this because of what she meant to the West Side. She has a school named after her. She has a park named after her. She has a street named after her. And so with this being known, a lot of people live on her street. A lot of people go to the post office and don't even know who she is. And so I wanted to bring legacy to somebody that needed to be known of what it is to have that legacy. And so that's the reason why this play was actually written, The Shadow of Greatness. And I don't want to give too much because then I'll be giving away the play, and I want people to come to the play so they can see the legacy, the history of this play.
So tell me, when is the play going to be and where?
The play is going to be June the 20th and June the 21st. It is at the Kehrein Center for Arts in Chicago, 5628 West Washington. It will start at 4:30. Of course, because this being an opening night, we're going to have red carpet. And then on Sunday, we're going to finish it up with the Nancy B. Jefferson story. So there's 2 nights of this. And one of the stories is when she poured, that you did the report on, that she poured oats in the river. So one of that is in there. And then there's a lot of things that's in there with her having the street named after her. We even put a segment of that in with Wallace Davis. And my family has never seen this play. Some of them has only one, and that's my sister Marie and Jackie, of course. They've seen this play, but they have not seen the new part of this play. So this will be the first time that my family on the Jefferson side have ever seen this play.
Now you mentioned Alderman Wallace Davis, a former Alderman Wallace Davis from the 27th Ward. Why did you include him?
Well, the reason why I include him because he was the one that helped push the street to be named after her, the Nancy B. Jefferson Street.
Yes.
So that's the reason. And matter of fact, when I was going about doing this play, I ended up calling Mr. Wallace Davis, and we had a conversation. Matter of fact, he's supposed to be at the play, and he even said, "Hey, I'm gonna let you use my sign." So we have his sign. The Wallace Catfish sign in the play because he gave us that permission and stuff like that. And he said that, yes, I believe in this play. I believe in what you're doing, and history needs to be known. And so that's the reason why we have the segment of the Wallace Catfish play in the play that will lead up until the Nancy B. Jefferson scene.
That's awesome. And so I remember she poured the oatmeal into the Chicago River to protest because they would not hire African Americans. So what happened after that?
Well, after that, they got minorities to be management and Quaker Oats because of her.
Yes.
That's the reason why they had management in Quaker Oats.
That's right. And then she also, she did so many things, but I remember she did a lot of things with police brutality. Can you give me some examples?
Well, I'm going to turn that over because my sister, she specializes in police. I'm going to turn it over to her and let her talk about that for the police.
Is that Linda? Is that Linda?
Yes, that's Linda Pinson.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over to her. And then the rest of the family, they can answer. My piece is basically with this play to let people know that if you live on Nancy B. Jefferson Street, you need to know who she is. If you visit the Nancy B. Jefferson post office, you need to know who she is. So I'm going to let Linda Pinson take it from there.
All right. Linda, are you there? Linda?
Yes, I'm ready. How you doing?
Fine. How are you? Tell us some of the things that Nancy Jefferson did regarding police brutality, please.
Okay. First of all, Mrs. Jefferson was always an advocate regarding to fairness and serving people. She was assigned to the police board, I believe by the Jane Burns. The mayor, Jane Burner, had her assigned to the police board. And with that, we had representation in our community. Then also Mrs. Jefferson was involved in selecting or having our first chief of police. The first one, black chief of police on the police board. She was involved with that. She was also involved with the assigning a West Side man on the chief of police. I think his name was Leroy Martin.
Oh, yes.
And that was up under Harold Washington.
Yes.
So, and with representation, officers were being hired. We would get representation of black officers in our community, whether it was West Side or the South Side, but especially on the West Side of Chicago. We had a lot of issues with officers that was not working with the community. So we had a relationship now, working back and forth with the community.
Now, when you say they were not working in your interest, what were they not doing that they should have been doing?
Well, there was a lot of things that they was not doing, such as properly, what the community would say about properly
were they abusing African Americans or what?
Well, yes, you can say that. Back in the 70s.
And back then there okay. And so and back then, were there a lot of shootings there on the West Side, or what was
because people were saying that there was a lot of gang ties and all African American young men were not involved in the gangs.
Right.
But it was just like the same way what's going on today. We didn't have, when we saw police in the neighborhood, on the block, we saw them beating and putting, it was almost like part of the South was here. Certain section of the West Side was blocked off. You couldn't go certain place without being stopped by the police, questioning why you in this area and things of that nature. All of that started changing when Mrs. Jefferson became the director of Midwest Community Council. And before then, she was actively neighbors, block by block. People talked to her, spoke with her. She had no problems in going to local stations and representing families because their sons seemed like they were disappearing and they was questioning them without proper representation. So she became the representation for the community. And then officers started, more and more officers that became neighbors and involved with, they worked with her. And it wasn't an easy task, but it became manageable because people started speaking up because they knew that Mrs. Jefferson can speak for them.
Right, and I remember doing a story about the juvenile detention center. Was she involved in that too?
No, the congressman was involved with that along with the post office. That happened after my mother had passed.
Okay.
And they renamed the juvenile detention center. All juvenile detention center, the one in Chicago, has high schools. The residents there have to go to school while they're incarcerated. And they could be there from 6 months to a couple years. But the high school, which is the public school system, part of the public school, it was called the Juvenile Detention Center High School. They have public teachers and everything. So now that school in the Juvenile Detention Center is called the Nancy B. Jefferson High School.
Oh, I did not know that.
So those who there long enough to graduate, to get a high school diploma out of the Juvenile Detention Center, their transcript or their diploma will say Nancy B. Jefferson High School.
Now, did she fight to get that school there?
No.
Okay.
Mrs. Jefferson didn't fight for that. That was not her call. Our congressman.
So the congressman did. Great. And you're going to be honoring, that's the Congressman Danny K. Davis from the 7th Congressional District. Now you're going to be honoring him at the play also, right?
Yes, that is correct. Congressman Danny Davis has been a friend to the West Side, has been a friend to the Midwest Community Council, has been a friend to the Jefferson family and other families. He saw to it that the post office was renamed. There was a post office renamed that took a congressional act to take place to have a federal building renamed by at that time, it was for Mrs. Jefferson, with Nancy B. Jefferson. And such as he was instrumental and responsible, along with even though that was county and state, for that juvenile high school to be renamed in her name. So there's a lot of recognition, and a lot of people remember that. And it doesn't. It has a soft spot with our family. And we do have a history. And we are telling our story so others can tell the story, so they need to know what's going on.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you.
Welcome to Master Force with Mushim Suit. Join us each week on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central, live on Facebook and YouTube on the Female Solution page, as we dive into powerful topics designed to assist you in mastering your life force. Our conversations feature a diverse lineup of experts, all dedicated to your growth. Tune in weekly to discover new ways to elevate your spirit and raise your vibration. And remember, we are ascending.
We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Okay, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and we have on the live line, we have Dr. Alice Teague. She is the daughter of the late Nancy B. Jefferson, a powerful woman who just took care of she was known as the Mother Teresa of the West Side because she took care of everybody, and not just the West Side, but she brought together the South Side as well. She was instrumental in getting a connection with Reverend Jesse Jackson, Sr. from the Rainbow Push Coalition, and they worked together on many social justice issues. And we also have on the line Linda Pinson and daughters Linda Pinson and daughter Marie Peavy, and sons Paul Jefferson, Ervin Jefferson, Novell Jefferson, and a special daughter named Jackie Wilkins. Thank you all for being on the case. So tell me more about why this woman just was so interested in social justice. What made her go into this area? Alice, are you there? Okay, Linda, are you there?
How about Norvell?
Novell, this is Novell. Okay, Novell, can you answer that question?
Sure. She first started out as a nurse, and she always was into helping others. And she was seeing the injustices that was happening in our community, and we didn't have the proper representation. And she stood up, stepped up to the plate, and answered a lot of calls for a lot of people, which helped our community, helped turn it around. We was here for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and she survived it all. So that was her legacy, and that was her motivation.
Well, so when Mayor Byrne was Jane Byrne was the mayor of Chicago, did she have problems with her, or did she work with her, or what?
A little bit of both.
A little bit.
It became a respect between both of them. Because she wasn't going anywhere, and the mayor realized that. So instead of being a foe, let's try to be a friend. One time, it was ironically, she was on the elevator, and the police got on the elevator, told her she couldn't get on this elevator this time, that the mayor was coming up, and she said, "No, I'm going to the meeting." It was a school board meeting, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so the police started harassing her on the elevator, and happened the mayor gets on the elevator and called her by her first name, Nancy. To our dismay and everybody else, the police looked at her like, who is this woman that the mayor called by her first name?
Yeah. She had a lot of respect.
That was a shock. Yeah. And she wasn't only just for us, she was for everybody. Any injustice. She also was cross-party lines. She was an independent Democrat, as she likes to call herself. Because we even backed Jim Edgar.
I remember that.
No one else would.
I remember that.
And he had promises that he was going to do this, he was going to do that for us, and he came through. Once that person got elected, she didn't want to be a king. She said she wanted to be a kingmaker. So she had people put in positions that were able to hire other blacks, Latinos, people who's not being represented properly throughout the state.
So when she supported Governor Edgar, did she get a lot of flack from the community?
Well, everybody was wondering. And she said, by being a Democrat, it was like a rubber stamp that we always going to vote for you, and you're not reinvesting it in our own community. That wasn't fair. Mm-hmm. Jim Edgar came with a plan. So this is what I want to do. What do you think? And that gave us a voice that was attainable and reachable. And at that point, we said, yes, this is our guy. And the ball got to rolling. And Jim Edgar came through like he promised. We had a Nikki Zoller.
Oh, Nikki Zoller, yes.
Yeah. Help her get in a Joe Banks. He was head of transportation. So those people were put in places where they could help other blacks and people, other minorities, to get ahead. At least level the playing field. That's all we ask. Just level the playing field.
She was ahead of her time, wasn't she?
I'm sorry?
Wasn't she ahead of her time in her thinking?
Well, ahead of her time, you could say that. There's other people who tried it, and they give up, and she just kept persevering.
Mm-hmm.
Kept pressing. So it just needs somebody else. She was on somebody else's back with, she learned it from, you know. You had Martin Luther King, so she has to learn it from someone. And that's inspiring for other black people, especially ladies, women, to step up and to be heard. And that was unheard of back then.
Absolutely.
So it had to be said, it had to be done. And she was the right person at the right time.
Well, so where was she born?
Paris, Tennessee.
Where?
Paris, Tennessee. That's the place of the world's largest fish fry.
No. Where was she born?
Have you ever heard of it? Yeah, Paris, Tennessee. That's where she was born at.
I'm not understanding. Which state was she born in?
Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. Okay.
Yes, it's called Paris, Tennessee.
Oh, Paris, Tennessee. Okay, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And then when did she come to Chicago?
Well, she came to Chicago before I was born. I was born in 1958, so when she was here when I came here.
Mm-hmm. And then she was born to a family of how many children?
Well, we have 8 total. Because we have three boys and one sister, and we have 2 kids that come from her sister that passed. So
no, I mean when she was in Tennessee, her parents had how many children? I'm sorry.
Oh, I have to look at the picture. I think 13, 12.
12 children.
12, I believe 12.
Well, was she born? Was she born
that
on?
That was not unusual.
Was she born on a farm?
No, Paris, Tennessee is a small town.
Okay.
Approximately 20,000 people.
Oh, okay.
So where everybody knows everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I still visit it every year.
And how long was she a nurse?
When I became of age to know what she was doing, she had already been a nurse and she was out of that practice. So she was starting a social community organization, Midwest Community Council. So I imagine when she graduated from school, she had to be a nurse for maybe 9 years, approximately. Mm-hmm. 8 or 9 years, something like that. Okay. Then she went into the field that she ended up in.
How did she inspire your life?
Oh, well, she's always told me when I walk out the door, I'm not only going to not embarrass myself, I embarrass the whole family. So I was very careful. Whatever I did, the neighbor down the street, I knew they would give me a whooping and then call home, and I got a second whooping when I got home if I did something wrong.
Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days. Those were the good old days. That's what we need now, don't you think?
Yeah, we can use a little bit of that now, but that's called abuse now.
Oh, abuse of just for disciplining your children?
Right.
Oh, maybe that's why we have teen takeovers, huh?
Where's your children at? I know when it was time the street lights come on.
Yep.
I was in front of my house.
Yep, that's my parents too. You better be home before the street lights come on.
There was a basketball court across the street from my house.
Uh-huh.
And the lights would come on at a certain time. And it was just across the street, so I was in a safe area. But my mom would send my brother to come get me. He didn't have to come across the street. He'd just walk down the street, and I look at him, and I know it was time to get home. That's how much respect I had.
Well, that's great. I really do believe that we need to flip the page backwards and go back to being stronger parents.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
And get to know your neighbor.
Right.
To know your neighbor.
And if you had some advice to give to Mayor Johnson about the teen takeovers, what would you tell him?
For one thing, I would like to have rolling curfew where they can put a curfew out there. I wouldn't mind that so much. And also, these parents need to be held accountable for a child that's living in their household. Yes. And they out doing whatever they want to do. And you at home or maybe even in a club don't know where your child is. You know, so hold them parents accountable. You know, maybe put a warning, you know, first time. Second time, maybe a little light fine. And continue at that point. And see what we do. But what we're doing now is not working.
Yep, that's right.
It's not working. Clearly, it's not.
That's right. Hold that thought. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you.
Peace and love. I'm Michelle Renee, host of Education Nation, live on the Female Solution Global Network every second and fourth Sunday from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. The intention of Education Nation is to raise awareness about the literacy crisis and to offer information to combat the problem. The goal is to awaken an army of reading coaches and mentors. You will experience guests who are doing their part in the community to ensure youth in their circles are reading and thinking critically. I look forward to serving you in this capacity. Literacy is freedom, and Education Nation will offer information and strategies to help ensure our young people stay free.
All right, we're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and we have on the live line a family of the late Nancy B. Jefferson. She was a terrific woman, organizer, no-nonsense woman who actually connected the West Side with the Rainbow Push Coalition, and together she and Reverend Jackson made some changes and got many jobs for African Americans. And I enjoyed covering her. She was dynamic. On the live line, we have Dr. Alice Teague, that's a daughter of Nancy B. Jefferson, and she's the producer, writer, and director of a play that she wrote about her mom, and it's called The Shadow of Greatness. Dr. Teague, tell us again when and where is that?
The Shadow of Greatness is going to be at the Kehrein Theaters of Art, and that address is 5628 West Washington Boulevard. That play is a 2-day play, Saturday, June the 20th at 4:30, and then Sunday, June the 21st at 4 p.m. And it does feature her in both segments of the play because, like I said, she is the headline of this play for the civil rights movement and the work she's done on the West Side and on the South Side as well.
And how much are the tickets? And how do you get them?
There's $25 for the tickets. You can go on eventbrite.com, or you can get in touch with my sister Linda. She does have tickets, and I have tickets myself. I am here. They can call me at 404-903-7894, and can also pay at the door on the day of the event.
And it's $5 more at the door, right?
Yes, it's $5 more at the door. So that's why we're trying to tell people, get them now before you have to pay that $5.
Right. Okay. And it's over about 7:30. Am I?
Roughly, it's a 2.5, maybe 3 hour place. So you're looking at 7:30, 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to serve food or what?
Yes, we will be having refreshments. We also are going to have vendors. I am looking for vendors, so you can spread the word around that we're looking for vendors. So yes, we are going to have vendors, but the vendors would have like very light food, snacks, because in the theater you cannot have any type of food at all.
Right. Okay. And so tell me, she was the mom of several children. She had to have been very strict with you guys. Describe her as your mom.
Well, before we do that, I want you to hear from the other.
I'm gonna get to them, but I wanted to get your opinion.
Well, when I was with her, I remember. I'm going to tell the story with the car. She gave me my allowance because she made sure that we worked and had allowance. Well, I said, well, can I borrow some money to get my car? And she says, well, as long as you're going to pay me back. Well, behold, I didn't pay her back. And I was banned from driving my car. I couldn't drive my car. I was like, why did you do that? She said, you promised me that you was going to pay me back. And so she taught us that your word is good as your bond. So when you say something, you need to make sure that you do what you say you're going to do.
I love that.
I remember that discipline with that. And I also remember that one day, she said, if something is wrong, you need to speak up and stand up, even if you have to stand all by yourself. And that has carried me all through my adult childhood and stuff like that, because I remember what she said in that. So she was very strict. You've heard from, Brother Narvell, how strict she was, but that strictness was for discipline and for us to always be honest in whatever we tried to do in life, and that we made a difference, and that our household made a difference. And when we say we're going to do something, our word had to mean something to what we said we was going to do.
All right. Let's hear from Ervin Jefferson, another son of Nancy B. Jefferson. Are you there, Ervin? Okay, let's go to Paul. Paul, are you there? Paul Jefferson? They don't know how to turn on the mic. All right. Let's see. What about Jackie Wilkins? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
I'm here.
Okay, so now you used to travel with Mrs. Jefferson a lot, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it so much travel. I call it just hanging out. We had a special relationship. It was about love, very unique. It was unconditional love and support. I was under her leadership, but didn't know it at the time, but until the passing when she passed. But we had a unique quality. It was like a strength, honest with each other, a respect. Even though that we were years apart, she listened to what I had to say. And so we built a relationship of honesty, of strength, trusting, and
speak into the phone. I can hardly hear you now. Speak into the phone.
And it was a part of it.
I can't hear you. All right. All right. So we really can't understand what you're saying because you're not speaking into the phone. But so let's go to Paul. Paul, are you there? Paul, are you there? All right. What about Marie? Marie, are you there?
am. I'm here.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Tell me about your mom.
I'm going to tell you about a story that's associated with the car as well. Growing up, we attended at that time, that was called the Monroe Street Church of Christ, but now it's the Jackson Boulevard Sisters, right? Jackson Church of Christ. Well, I had just bought my first car. It was a Nissan Stenza. It was my present to myself when I graduated from college. And it was white. And I was so proud of this car. And so I drove to church that Sunday. And after church, Mom is Mom. And I said, Mom, she says, okay, get in the car, let's go. And my name to her was Reese. She always called me Reese. Reese, let's go. And we would always have to go to there was a paper stand right there on, I think it was Peavy. And we would go to the newspaper stand and get her paper. And we come on down to Jefferson at the house. But on our way to home, we saw, now keep in mind, my car is brand new, it's white. We saw a man on the bench that was dirty and he was dirty. And my mom said, Lucy, pull over. I didn't know what she meant. She said, pull the car over. So I pulled the car over. I didn't know why she said, I knew what she meant, but I didn't know why. So I pulled the car over and she said, open your door. I said, excuse me? Lucy, open your door. And so I did what she asked me to do. And she had someone to help lift this man into my car, into the back seat of my car. And we went down, and he got in, and she laid down. She said, you okay? He said, yes, ma'am. We went to the police station that was nearby. And when we got to the police station, he got out the car, and he was able to get out, and she told everybody there, everybody knew her. She said, hello, Miss Jefferson. Hello, Miss Jefferson. And when she got in, she said to the police officers, do what you have to do to clean him up. Do whatever you have to do. Just make sure he gets some food and clean him up. And if there's any bill that has to be paid, I will come back to pay it.
Oh, wow.
And of course, my mind went to Luke 10, the Good Samaritan. And I just started crying. And because it was just, I experienced it myself firsthand. And to see this type of love, this type of care, this type of, she had disposition, she had control, she had charge, all that, even in the police station. Everybody gave her respect and did exactly what she asked. And she did that with so much care, love. And when we got in the car, I thought we were going to discuss the situation that took place. No, it was no We continued on. She said, now what was you saying to me? We continued on our conversation. And everywhere I go, that is why I have the position to help whenever I can, because I remember that. It will never go away. And I tell this story over and over again, because that's what something she put in my heart that I could never, ever erase. And I saw my mom in a way that I can't explain it. Words cannot even fill up for me a word. I mean, a word cannot be replaced there. I was at awe. And she was wanting me to continue the conversation, but I couldn't. I just kept looking at her and admiring her and say, what a beautiful woman. That's all I can say. That was the story that
were the police shocked at her request?
They didn't appear to be shocked. They just said, yes, Miss Jefferson, yes, ma'am. That's all they were saying. They didn't appear to be like, why you asking? They didn't do any of that. They said, yes, ma'am, yes, Miss Jefferson. It was much respect for her. And like I said, I was just in complete awe. And it was all over. My white car, I didn't care about that anymore. All I saw was this beautiful woman and what she had just done.
And she saw a homeless man and she just wanted to help. That was beautiful.
Yes. she did help. She got him help. She took care of him. She got to the point where, like I said, she put him in the car and she took him to the police station. So she definitely did help.
Mm-hmm. Did she ever follow up and find out who he was and help him further?
You know what? If he did, I didn't ask. So I didn't ask any questions about it. I left it alone right there. So I don't know the response to that.
Okay. What was her relationship to Mayor Harold Washington?
Hello?
Marie?
I can't get through.
That's Ervin.
Who is that, Ervin?
Yes, this is Ervin. Yes.
Okay. What was your mom's relationship with Mayor Washington?
Her relationship with Harold Washington was great. To give you an example, with Harold, he really didn't want to run for the office. But he told my mom that if she can come up with 125 new voters, she didn't have but 2 months to do it. She actually came up with 250,000. And she took it to him and said, now, her favorite word was, she'll call you Doc. And she said, all right, Doc, I got the votes. It's time to do this. She was instrumental in the block clubs. So that was one of her ways how she galvanized all the people to sign up with new voters. She had a lot of stories. Marie gave you one. I'm going to give you one. There was a man that was, elderly man, was on disability. He had got a check from the state, and the check was about $3,000. He went to the currency exchange, and what they did was they gave him a lot of money that totaled $300, but they gave it in ones and fives and made it look like it was up to $3,000. If he hadn't went to my mother, he would have never had gotten his money back. There are a number of stories that my mother, she did for different people.
Wow. All right.
That's just one of many.
Okay, we have to take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Okay.
Thank you.
The earth is in the process of transformation. A separation, such as when a cell divides. Half will remain in the third dimension, the old earth, where there is conflict and violence. The other half will ascend to the fifth dimension, the new earth, where no negativity can exist. All across the world, there are internet content creators that are sharing new information to raise your consciousness and prepare you to ascend to the new earth. Join me, Naima Latif, every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time, and we will introduce to you these voices of enlightenment.
Great day. It's your girl Asada here to introduce a new female solution show called Asada Says. That's right. Every month we're going to talk about everything I am, from cryptocurrency and financial security to good health and parenting strategies. Come on and talk with me every Tuesday morning from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And let's do that thing the way Asada says it should be done. See you then. Peace, right here on the Female Solution.
We're back. I'm Chinta Strausberg, producer and host of On the Case, and I'm talking to Dr. Alice Teague. She is the daughter of Nancy, the late Nancy B. Jefferson, and she was a powerful woman on the West Side. She connected the West Side with the South Side. That's something very, very difficult to do even today. And she is also a producer, a writer, and director of the play called The Shadow of Greatness, and that is a play about her mom, Nancy B. Jefferson, and her legacy. And the whole purpose is to teach people who this woman was. Post Office Congressman Danny K. Davis also will be honored on June 20th and June 21st, and it's at the Kehrein Center for the Arts. And I'll let Dr. Alice Teague tell us about that. Dr. Teague, are you there? Dr. Teague?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell us again when the play is and what time and where.
All right, let me just give you the background of The Shadow of Greatness. The Shadow of Greatness is a powerful stage play, of course, that honors untold stories of African American leaders and community. Heroes who led shaped our history. It is especially meaningful to me because it honors my mom, Nancy B. Jefferson, known to many as the Mother Teresa of the West Side for nearly 25 years. She dedicated her life for serving others and uplift the community. This production, and I just got to say that again, this production is about legacy, faith, and greatness that exists within our community. And she was one of the persons that exists in our community. And that's why I'm telling everybody to come on out, to know your history. And as I said before, our ancestors, our history, and our culture, we have to have that combination together because the world is trying to erase history. We have to stand up for our history, and because if we don't, who will? And it's time for the West Side to get something big. You know, it's a lot of things going on June the 20th. You got the Obama Center open. You got things downtown. But right here on the West Side, you've got a stage play that talks about history, a combination of Juneteenth and history together. So please, people, come out, purchase your tickets. Kehrein Theater of Art, 5628 West Washington Boulevard. Doors will open at 3:30. Saturday, June the 20th, 4:30. Sunday, June the 21st at 4 p.m. We will have a red carpet. And again, this is legacy. Not only Mama Jefferson, as a legacy, we're going to be honoring Congressman Danny K. Davis, who served 50 years on the west side of Chicago. And so this is a play that you don't want to miss. This play sold out in Georgia twice with over 500 people. And so we're saying, come on, let's sell out. Let Chicago be the second city to sell out because it all started right here in Chicago.
Absolutely. And it's a good time to have it. And it's the Juneteenth weekend as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So tell me more about when you first started writing this play. What prompted you? Was it one thing that she did or what?
Well, when I started this play over 2 years ago, it took me 2 years to write this play.
Okay.
So when I started 2 years to write it, of course, as a writer and producer, I also have a TV show that's called The Dr. Alice Show. I have the magazine that's called Spotlight Spectacular Magazine. So I wanted to have something that was, whatever I put in my magazine, I wanted to produce it because of the education that I received and the growing up that I received and the love that I received in the family. I wanted to give back what I was given. And so that's how you grow, is to give back. And if I haven't learned anything else, Mama Jefferson always taught us is to give back to your community. Never forget where you came from. Whether you lived in Beverly Hills or if you lived in the project, as Jesse Jackson would say, you are somebody. So she made sure that was known on the west side of Chicago. So this story inspired me to write about history and to write about legacy and our ancestors who have fought and gone before her. You have to take this story because she was from Crescent and Darling Yancey. a sharecropper. Her father was a sharecropper, and for her to develop and to go into the development that she went into to serve the community, that says something about a lady that needs to be known.
Absolutely. And you can get the tickets by calling 404-903-7894.
That's correct, 404-903-7894. You can also get the tickets on eventbrite.com, and of course you can play at the door. My sister Linda does have tickets, and most people know her, and so they can get tickets from her as well.
Okay. Now, is Paul there? I think I've spoken to everybody else except Paul. Paul Jefferson? Okay, he is not there. All right. Okay, so can you tell me some of the other things that your mom did besides pouring a box of oatmeal in the Chicago River? I'll never forget that.
Mm-hmm. Well, she challenged the housing authority. You know, she challenged them for not for skipping the West Side on a cold winter day, and that's in the play as well. So there was a lot of things that she did, but that was one of the things that she was really upset about when they stopped the CTA from coming to the lines and carrying people from the West Side.
Was that the time when there was an election, a mayoral election?
Absolutely.
That's what I thought. I remember now. That was dirty pool. I mean, that was a dirty trick they did.
You know, I can elaborate on a lot of things too.
Who is that?
Norvell.
Norvell, okay.
Yes. One time she had it was a lot of prostitution on Madison and Francisco. A lot of prostitution. So she organized 300 men, and they said not tonight. They all went out there with candles, and they hold a vigil outside on the street, lined up on the street, and told them not tonight. That was things she did. And there was another time she stand in front of a construction site, in front of the bulldozers, wouldn't let them come in to the yard because they wouldn't hire us in our community and they building in our community. There was a time she took over the school board. She took the gavel out of the president's hand and told her, first she told her, the president said, "You're out of order." She snatched the gavel and said, "No, you're out of order." And we have pictures of that today, and you can see the face on the woman. It was just, I mean, you have to be there to see it. And she just looked and just had her nose up, couldn't believe this woman did this.
I would love to have. I would love to have copies of those pictures for my story. Okay.
I think I have that particular picture, and I can see if I can get that to you. It's several things he did. At one point in my life, we had 3 people that was not related to us that lived with us. I mean, they were homeless, but they were. I won't say they had this ability about them, what they wanted more in life for themselves. Yeah. And she could see that in a person. So she took them in. I mean, it was like not all at the same time, but like 1 year, stayed maybe 7, 8 months, 9 months, till they got on their feet and went on about the way. And a few of these people became very successful. One lady became a lawyer. One person became a businessman, you know, and stuff like that. She just knew something was in him. And she always used this phrase, "Keep your eyes on the prize." That was one of her favorite phrases.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah. I mean, to know her is to love her. And it's not a week go by, someone comes by me and says, "You know, your mama helped me with this and that, and I couldn't get in this place." And she wrote her name down, gave me a recommendation. Matter of fact, that's how I got my job. She was in the hospital. The commissioner called her to check on her. His name was Madison Brown. He was hooked up with the Italians, so he was educated black man, and he was commissioner of the city of Chicago. he called her to check on her. I said, no, she's in the hospital. And he called her. And he said, we want to call you, Nancy. It's because this guy came down here and said that you recommend her highly. And he used your name as a reference. She said, hell, if I want to get somebody a job, I get my son a job. He's working with his dad now. He's just coming in from Tennessee, where he was going to school at, but he's back here at home. And I'm working my dad plumbing part-time with him. And then he said, what's he doing now? He said, I was him you talked to. He called me back. He said, Norvell, would you like to work for the summer? I said, yes. He said, can you come? He said, come tomorrow.
Okay.
And he said, come down tomorrow, see me. I came down there the next day.
And you got hired.
And I retired. I retired from that summer job 33 years later.
Wow. All right. So we're out of time. I appreciate all of the Jeffersons. Dr. Alice Teague, thank you so very much. I wish you the best in success for your play that's going to be held at the Kehrein Center for the Arts.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right. So I will see you. I will see you next Friday. Thank you so much, the Jefferson children.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. Good job, Alice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, Marie.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, Ngiyabonga. Senegal, Jareth. Kenya, Asante. Israel, Toda. Pakistan, Shukriya. Afghanistan, Tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, Shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.